Thank you very much for inviting me here today. It's really an honor to speak, especially with all of the great presentations that we had this morning. So I'm here today to talk about SafeTALK. I'm from the mission Seafarers. I'm not going to go into details about who we are because hopefully you will know who we are or give us a Google. But at the mission Seafarers, I'm a program manager and also a trainer of the course SafeTALK. And that's what we're here to talk about now. What is SafeTALK? SafeTALK stands for Suicide Alertness for Everyone. When we can't maintain our well-being, as we've already heard, it can have a drastic impact on our physical and our mental health. And this can include thoughts of suicide. This discussion that we're about to have is around suicide, so it may be triggering for some. If this is triggering, I will be available after this presentation. I'm sure there are other people as well that we can bring into the conversation. But please, if you feel the need to leave the room, do not worry. If you want to talk to me afterwards, I'm available to you. But I have, for safety reasons, kept a number of the videos that we use in SafeTALK out of this presentation. And the ones that we have used are the safe ones that we felt were appropriate to use today. So, thinking about suicide, we believe that thinking about suicide is acceptable. We all are human beings. We have the ability to have thoughts of life and death. We also believe that acts of suicide are preventable, given the opportunity to talk to someone about those thoughts. That's why we partnered with Living Works. They are the specialists in suicide prevention trainings. The Mission Seafarers are specialists in providing welfare to seafarers around the world. We are not specialists in suicide prevention training or intervention skills training. Living Works are. And that's why we adopted their training and didn't create something ourselves, because they are the bread and butter of this industry. But we needed supporters to be able to do this course. That's where the UK P&I Club came into play, and also the Seafarers Charity. They enabled us to deliver fully funded courses to a variety of people that you'll hear about today. And then finally, we have the clients or the people that received our courses since 2021 now. But these are the people that received it just this in 2024. You know, we have clients from the ship owners, we have P&I clubs, we have academic universities, and all of these have something in common, and that's that they want to build suicide-safer communities within the maritime industry and within the communities that they have influence over, whether that's a school or a company. So, what's SafeTALK? It's a 3.5-hour course. It's face-to-face only. Reason for this, you try and do a 2-day course in the shipping industry. Good luck, especially with crew. It's just not going to happen. Whereas SafeTALK gave us the impact that we required, the ease of learning for crew and for cadets. It's also scenario-based. Case studies are the best way to learn because you get to see how people struggle, you get to see how people learn from experience, and you get to see how people can do it. And then finally, culture and support. It creates a culture within a community. That community could be on board a vessel, it could be in an organization, it could be across the industry. But what I mean by culture, is a way of thinking. Is suicide a taboo? In some cultures it is. In our culture it may be. But through this type of training, could we create our own culture where talking about suicide is acceptable? And then finally, we have a mental health first aider or a suicide first aider, as we call them, within these courses. And that's to make sure that we are in line with the Merchant Navy Training Boards and the Charities Group Training Standards, which was published way back now in 2020. But it just says that if you're running courses like this, have someone else in the room as backup to support the participants. If they are triggered by any of the information or any of the scenarios that they watch, they have someone there ready, able, and available to help them and to listen to them. That's pretty much what SafeTALK is. Just building on that. 2-part course. The first part is talk. These are the talk steps that we will train people in. How do we actually help someone if they're having thoughts of suicide? What do we say? What do we do? We look at the signs. Are we seeing signs that might make us think that person may be having thoughts of suicide. I should do something about this. The A stands for ask. Ask them openly and directly about if they're having thoughts of suicide. And we'll see how we can do that, because that might sound quite alien to us right now. L, listen. Just active listening. That's all you need to do. And if you don't feel like active listening is something you can do, you can go straight to the K, which is keep safe. Keep them safe from a way that they may harm themselves. That could be calling a helpline with them. It could be going to somebody on board that's trained in suicide intervention skills or a similar skill set. They're ready, available, and willing to help. And then the second part of the course looks at the myths versus the reality. Why do people dismiss, or avoid talking about suicide? What is it within our cultures? What is it within ourselves that make us think that we cannot talk about life and death? SafeTALK is a very positive course, regardless about how you may feel about suicide. It's seen as a negative topic. But suicide is about talking to someone about why they may want to live. There is an element of doubt within that person that you're talking to, and that doubt is a representative of their life. 90% of them may be thinking about ending their life, but 10% of them, 5% of them, 1% of them may have a doubt that that is the right decision. And if we can talk about that doubt, that's a representative of their life, and we can start talking to them about their life instead and their want to live in the future. So, why did we choose SafeTALK? Well, the World Health Organization says that 703,000 people take their own lives every year. Sorry, I thought that was my alarm then. In the UK, the Northwest is the most prevalent place for people ending their lives by suicide. And we'll see how we adopted these types of statistics within this course shortly. Death by suicide does not only affect the person that died, it also affects the families, the crewmates, the school, the organization that they're a part of. It is a public health issue, and there are many different reasons why people might be having thoughts of suicide. It is complex. But one thing that we do know is that everyone can have the skills and abilities to talk to somebody about their thoughts. We can all talk. We can all listen, actually. That's the most important word to use here, listen. And we can all signpost somebody with those thoughts of suicide to someone that can help. We also recognize that there are mental health courses out there and some fantastic resources by various different organizations, especially in the maritime industry. The reason we adopted SafeTALK is because it is a community-based approach. You do not need to be a clinical psychologist. You do not need to be a specialist to learn these skills. They are basic community-based approaches to helping someone with thoughts of suicide. So I'm going to show you a trailer for the course now, because that's better than me talking. So we're going to watch this trailer and then we'll just dissect a little bit of it.
Morning, Sophia. Sophia?
Hello, Mom.
Hello, Tayo. What is it? You know I'm at work and I'm very busy to talk right now.
Look, before you say anything, there's something I want to tell you.
Hey Yaz, not sure if you heard the news, but Priya and I are over.
What? Oh, no.
Do you maybe want to go somewhere quiet and talk?
No, not really. Nothing will help anyway.
I keep getting these panic attacks and I
Have all my life lessons entered one ear and gone out of the other. You must learn to deal with your feelings.
Excuse me, mate. You look really upset. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, Ta. Got a lot on my mind, is all. Just looking for a way out of all this.
Things are so bad.
I just don't know what to do, and I don't think it will get better. I can't go on like this.
Do you have anyone you could talk to? If you like, I might know someone who can help.
Yeah, actually, now you mention it, I reckon there is someone who could help me work through this.
Even better.
Why don't you let me walk you home? And we can talk about what's really going on.
Okay, thanks, Amy.
Let's get you the help you need.
Thanks for listening to me, sir.
You can see there, anyone that did attend SafeTALK before the beginning of last year, we used to use the Living Works Canadian videos. We found that there's a little bit of a disconnect between us and the participants we've used using those videos. So thankfully, with funding from UK P&I Club and other funders, we're able to make it a maritime themed course. And that's why you have scenarios there where you've got discussions with cadets at the academy. You've got a telephone call with a cadet and their mum who is a distance away. You've got discussions on board the vessel. You've got even got a texting conversation at one point between someone on board a vessel and someone at home. How do you deal with a concern that your friend or colleague may be having thoughts of suicide if there's that distance? That's what SafeTALK discusses. That's what SafeTALK empowers people to get over, so we don't dismiss or avoid asking the question whether they're having thoughts of suicide. So we're going to try and make this a little bit more interactive because that was the brief set by Sophia. So this is going to be a part of the course now. But again, as I said, it's going to try and keep it very safe. So our society puts a heavy onus on people in distress to seek help themselves. And of course, this is important for them to know the resources that are available to them and seek that help. But what about the rest of us? What can we offer, or what can we do to help? If we see the signs of suicide, or invitations, as we call them in this course, how can we help? There is not a clinician on every street corner, but they are the keep safe connections. We can connect someone with thoughts of suicide to those clinicians or to those organizations that can help. So, see this picture here, blank silhouettes, and around them are these houses, or let's, for our industry, imagine that these are ships. And in those ships, we've got people that have gone through some kind of trauma in their life, whether it's breakup in a relationship, they're feeling unhappy about something that's happened on board, there has been an incident. But around them are blank silhouettes who are oblivious to any of these things that have happened. They have not seen the signs, they do not know how to deal with those signs. Our hope is that through delivering courses like SafeTALK, so as you can see here, that is the triangle, yellow triangle. These people have done SafeTALK. They are suicide alert helpers. That's what we call someone that's graduated from SafeTALK. They are the eyes and ears of the community. They are the masses. You know, they're the cadets. They are the crew. And they are able to recognize the signs within people who are having thoughts of suicide. They may be subtle signs, they may be blatant signs, but they are ready to support them. Then you've got the square, and those are people trained in a course called Assist or similar. Those are people that can provide intervention skills. They can do an intervention with somebody that is having thoughts of suicide, reducing the level of risk and heightening the level of safety, doing things like a self-care plan with a person with thoughts of suicide. That could be the master. We've often thought it could be the chief cook because they see people on a regular basis. It could be the manning agent, etc., etc. So if we bring all of these people together, we can see the signs within those vessels. We're going to watch a video now, and at the end of this video, I'm going to ask you to have a 2-minute conversation with the person next to you, and I want you to discuss, do you think suicide is involved? do you think the person was having thoughts of suicide or might be having thoughts of suicide? And I want you to ask yourselves, what did you see, hear, or sense about the person who you feel might be at risk? Okay?
Excuse me, mate. You look really upset. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, Tar. Got a lot on my mind is all, just looking for a way out of all this.
I see. Do you maybe fancy talking about it?
No. There's way too much involved. Tar for asking, though.
Are you sure? I'm not on shift for half an hour.
Yeah, I'm sure, Tar.
No problem, mate. You take care of yourself. I'll be in the cabin until 5 o'clock if you change your mind.
So yeah, there's too much involved, got a lot on my mind, and looking for a way out of this. And then we didn't learn an awful lot about him in that video. But that's pretty much what we do in the first part of SafeTALK. We look at what we might see, hear, sense, and learn about a person that might make us think that something is wrong. And then we use those signs to ask the person openly and directly if they're having thoughts of suicide. So as you can see here, there's another picture from one of the videos that we have. And this person's been texting their friend. They've got enough information now to ask them, are you talking about suicide? Now she asked quite directly because she's a friend, but with someone, there is a more comfortable way of asking. You can use all the signs that you've seen, and you can say when other people are feeling that way, they have been thinking about suicide. Therefore, are you thinking about suicide? And I won't go into details of how that's done now. You'll have to come on the course because we benefit of time. But then after that, all we have to then do is listen. We can see here that Dev has said, yes, I am thinking of suicide. And now for their friend, it's a case of keeping Dev on the WhatsApp chat. It's keeping him talking. It's seeing, can we have a quick telephone call then so I can listen to what is happening, what you're going through? And then finally, it's about connecting that person to a keep safe connection who is able, available, and approachable to provide suicide intervention skills. Here we've got a picture of our port chaplain in Singapore, but that could be ISWAN Seafarer Helpline, it could be Samaritans, it could be a clinical psychologist or counsellor. It varies depending on who is available. It could be the master who is trained in suicide intervention skills. And then the second part is, how do we actually find the courage to do that? Well, first, we've got to discern the myths around suicide. We've got to know, why do we dismiss, or avoid talking about suicide? Avoidance is the biggest point, usually about fear. We fear that we're going to make it worse. We fear that we can't help. And actually, all we have to do is connect them to someone that can help them. We're just a connector. So, we're going to watch the same video now, and we're going to see how it's done differently to someone that is trained in SafeTALK, the community-based approach of connecting someone to a keep safe connection. And it's about how we use this skill even when suicide isn't involved.
Excuse me, mate. You look really upset. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, Tar. Got a lot on my mind is all, just looking for a way out of all this.
I see. Do you maybe fancy talking about it?
No. There's way too much involved.
Mind if I take a seat? I'm not on shift for half an hour. This all sounds very serious.
Yeah, it is.
Life and death serious? Like you're thinking of suicide?
No. Not that serious. I don't want to kill myself. I just work in a very toxic environment and the chief officer hates me.
Sorry to hear that. But you're sure this isn't about suicide?
Yeah, I'm sure. I just need a new challenge or change of scenery. You know, be around people who appreciate me for who I am. Need to feel better. I just don't know where to start.
Do you have anyone you could talk to? If you like, I might know someone who can help.
Yeah, actually, now you mention it, I reckon there is someone who could help me work through this.
Even better.
Yeah, thanks for checking in, mate. It doesn't happen much around here. I'm Paul, by the way.
Anthony, what vessel did you come in on?
So, we can see there the talk steps were shown. He saw the signs. He asked for consent. You know, can I sit down next to you and have a chat? He asked him, but he asked him pretty directly whether he was having thoughts of suicide. And in this case, he wasn't. But he asked again, just in case, because he knew that he could help if he was. And no, suicide was not involved in this case. But he still listened, and he still went through to, I know someone that can help. Would you like that? He still went to the keep safe connection step, regardless of the fact that suicide was or wasn't involved. And that's what the benefit of doing SafeTALK was for him, or a similar course to SafeTALK. This is basically what we're hoping for in the future, building it across the maritime industry, working with more organizations, increasing our capacity, having more trainers around the world in the Mission Seafarers, but also outside of the Mission Seafarers, and then promoting suicide awareness across regions and across our partners. Just to give you an idea of impact, this was when I was in India last year at the Indian Maritime University, where we trained over 300 cadets in a week. It was very tiring, but so rewarding to meet all of these young people who are about to have fantastic careers. And the questions I had were so rich and so interesting. We've also got 121 maritime organizations who have already completed this course. We're hoping this will just continue to grow. Across 10 countries, 100% feedback on a referral of other people to do the course. 100% of people who gave us feedback from said that they refer their friends to this course. As a trainer who's done things in the past outside of maritime, that's an astounding figure. And I think it's not just the trainers that have made that happen, it's the curriculum, it's the people that have come to the course with an open mind, it's all the rest of it. And then 72% felt well prepared, whilst the others felt mostly prepared, with nothing below that to help someone who's having thoughts of suicide. So just some very quick quotes, and I'll just let you scan a couple of these. But basically, most of the quotes are saying, let's do more of this in the industry. Pacific Basin in the Philippines, before they did SafeTALK, had about 3 inquiries a month via their internal helpline. Since doing SafeTALK, they're getting about 30 a month plus. And it's not about suicide, it's not about thoughts of suicide, it's about anything and everything, whether it's a family problem at home, whether it's a chest pain, or whether it's a standardized operating procedure issue. But people are using the service because they trust their employer due to the fact that they're offering these courses that talk about open and direct conversations. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I'm 5 minutes over, and it was a pleasure to speak to you all. Thank you. Thank you.